Hello, dear students. Today we are going to do the second poem of your textbook, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. A beautiful poem written by an American poet, Stephen Spender. This particular poem is actually about the schools of rural area. The schools that government generally opens in the rural areas, in slum area, but these schools are far away from the basic necessities and facilities of a normal school. The poet has basically tried to portray different kind of problems that these school and the children face. Through this poem, he not only conveys the condition of the children of slum area, but he also tells us the way of invocation, the way how these children can be entered into the normal life. So let's see the explanation of the poem. As you can see that the poem is beautifully divided in 4 stanzas, and every stanza has a different message to give. So we'll see what our poet has to convey to us. Let's see the theme first. In this poem, the poet has critically pointed on the themes of social injustice and class inequalities. Social injustice? Yes. This is the difference between the rich and the poor. Because the slum area children are less privileged, they do not have enough amount of money, so they cannot get good amount of knowledge. They cannot pay hefty fees, they cannot buy expensive books, so they cannot go to good schools. Class inequalities? Even if we find some students who are intelligent, who are capable, we try to pull them off. The people who are in power, the people who are rich, they do not want these children to grow up like the normal cream children. So they are actually bereaved. They are very away from the normal sort of educational life. The poet also brings to light the issue about the gap between the rich and the poor, which results in depriving the slum children of the basic rights of education. The poem beautifully highlights the harsh realities of life as experienced by the slum children. So let's see what the first stanza has to tell us. Stanza number 1 speaks about the condition of children of classroom. The poet here tries to show us the image of the classroom. He tries to show us the kind of children who are there in the classroom. These children are not as good as you people. They are not facilitated. They don't enjoy that amount of good knowledge, good stationery, or good infrastructure. Rather, they are laden by the responsibilities and duties of their families. They do not enjoy good medical facilities either. So, in this particular stanza, the poet tries to tell us the different kind of children who have come to study in that school. He has tried to portray 4 different kind of children to tell us the condition of the children over there. The poet starts by telling us that these children are far from gusty waves. Now, gusty waves is a metaphor which talks about the luxuries, the richness of a normal city life. So basically, these children are very far away from the luxuries, the richness, the happiness of the city life. They don't enjoy those facilities. They don't even know if all those things are real. The poet also tell us that these children are treated as unwanted part of society, and therefore the poet has compared them to rootless weeds. Weeds, my dear children, are basically the wild grass, the unwanted grass. You people might have seen in the normal green grass you have yellow colored wild grass growing. We generally pull them off because we think that these weeds destroy the beauty of our garden. They are not meant for our garden. In the similar manner, these children, because they are poor, because they are from the different part of society, so the rich people, they think that they are an unwanted part of society. He talks about a tall girl who is sitting with a weighed down head. Now here you can see the comparison he has shown. A tall girl but a weighed down head. That means the girl appeared to be elder in age. She was grown up enough. And she was sitting down with a weighed down head means she might be carrying weight of responsibilities of her family, the duties that she would be carrying off, or maybe she might be suffering from gender inequality. She was sad, she was upset, she was dejected, and so she was sitting with a weighed down head. The second child described is a paper seeming boy. A paper seeming boy is again a metaphor. A boy as thin as a paper. Though this explanation is a hyperbole, it again tells us the condition of the slum area. It clearly shows that the boy is malnourished, he is malnutritioned. He neither gets enough to eat nor he gets nourished to eat. So the boy is very skinny, very thin, and therefore he has rat's eye. Rat's eye is again a beautiful metaphor used for the search of food. As the rat keeps on searching for his food, in the similar manner, this boy has a hunger of food. He is searching for his happiness. He is searching for something good in his life. The third child described is a physically challenged child. This boy has a stunted growth. His bones are not normal. He is not able to stand properly. He is not able to walk properly. He is carrying this disease as a part of hereditary from his father. This shows the lack of medical facilities and awareness. Because this boy is not able to walk properly, so he is reading his lessons right from his place. The fourth child described is a small, innocent boy. A boy who is unnoticed, innocent. He is unaware of the activities going inside the classroom. He is totally away. His mind is lost in his own world of dreams, world of happiness, world of freedom. So he has nothing to do with whatever is going inside the class. So my dear children, this particular stanza talks about the pathetic health and living condition of children of slum. It shows that how these children are deprived of all their basic needs of life, even happiness. Stanza number 2. It talks about the condition of the classroom. When the poet entered the classroom, how did he feel the classroom? What was the classroom like? The classroom was not as facilitated and as beautiful as yours. The walls were sour cream. They were dirty. They were unpainted. They were old. In all these years, nobody bothered to get them painted again. But on this sour cream wall, there were various things pasted. There was photo of Shakespeare and different photograph of other poets. There were beautiful sceneries, beautiful countrysides. Then there was a page which had a list of people who have donated for the school. And then there were maps. These all things were actually useless for these kids. Shakespeare and other poets talked about luxuries, about love, about kingdoms, about richness, which these children have never seen. The sceneries and beautiful countrysides were imaginations according to them, because for them their world was only the slum. The people who have donated were their godfathers. Because of them, the school was standing. And then these maps. The world that these maps shows, was it real? They never knew. The poet also saw that there was an open-handed map. An open-handed map is actually a free-hand drawing of a map made by a teacher. These all things actually created a kind of question, a kind of an interrogation in the mind of these children, whether this world was actually real. And then, very beautifully, the poet paraphrases that these all things awards the world its world. Now, here in this particular phrase, the word world is used twice. But both the worlds are different from each other. This can even be taken as a pun because both these worlds speak about a different category of world. The first world talks about the real world of slum, the world of garbage heaps, the world where the future is uncertain and foggy. The second world is the outside, unrealistic world of luxury, world of richness that is shown in the maps and sceneries. So these all things on the wall and the entire education system showed them a world which according to them was not real. How could they trust on this education? Is this education beneficial for them? Not much. Third stanza talks about the living standard of people in slum. Very beautifully, the poet has spoken in his phrase, Shakespeare is wicked. Why is Shakespeare wicked? Shakespeare for these slum children is wicked because his poems, his works, it all shows freedom, riches, kingdoms, and glories. He talks about ship and sun. That means he gives references for luxury, name, and fame. This all shows these children a world which is unrealistic, which is hypothetical, which was very, very far away from their own reality. And these all things tempted them towards a world which was far from their reach. The people, they lived in crammed holes. Crammed holes is a visual imagery. It talks about the small houses which were so small as if it were the rat holes. These small houses were basically the heaps of garbage. They were like garbage heaps. surrounded by dust, garbage, and foggy, uncertain future. The children. The children of slum are malnutritioned. They are so skinny and so thin that the poet has compared their appearance as bones peeping through the skin. The skin was so thin and so transparent that even their entire skeleton system, their bones, were easily visible. This shows that they were malnutritioned. They did not get good amount of food. These children cannot get opportunities as the powerful people do not want it. They don't want that these children should stand equal to them. The rich people don't want that these poor people should come and equalize them. So they always create barriers, they always keep restrictions. These children wear mended glasses. That means they don't even have enough money so that they can get their spectacles, their glasses mended. These mended glasses and these children, they keep on oscillating between the fog and the endless night. This phrase is again a symbolism of uncertainty of future. Neither the beginning is clear nor the end of their life is clear. They begin their life with uncertainty to get food, uncertainty to get a good future, to get good money, and that is how they end up. This particular slum is their world, and this world, it covers their entire life like a huge dome. They have no world outside this. They don't know a life outside the slum area. People are unable to come out of this dark gift world into the bright outer world. This world that is gifted to them, filled with darkness, filled with fog, filled with grayish or darkened imagination or thoughts, it stops them to come out into the brighter world. Is there a way out? Is there a solution for this problem? Is there a way that these slum area children can be brought into the normal life? Yes. Let's see how. The stanza 4 talks about invocation. It talks about rise of hope. The poet very beautifully speaks that whenever these schools are visited by governors, inspector, visitor, that means any kind of powerful people or the people of high post, maybe as chief guests, maybe as inspectors or investigators. These visitors should think upon reviewing the system of social injustice. They should give a way out to these children so that they can enter into the normal world. These visitors should open the windows so that the slum area children can have a view of the beautiful world outside. The revised system should empower these children to break away from the shackles of poverty and deprivation. This particular system should bring them out of poverty, should bring them out of being deprived of things. It should give them facility, at least a good facility to get good education. The poet urges the civilized people to help the slum children enjoy all facilities, such as an open blue sky, the beautiful sunshine, the waves of the sea, the fresh air, good and sufficient nutrition. These children also have a right to live as normal as you. So even they should get a civilized life. And it is only possible if the people who are powerful, who are sitting on posts, give them a way out from their slum life. The poet invokes these children by saying that let the pages of wisdom be open for them, and their tongues may run freely on the white leaves of books. A very beautiful line indeed. There should be no restriction for education. There should be no restriction for the amount of knowledge you gain. Even these children should get the equal amount of education. Even they should get equal amount of opportunities so that even they can show their wisdom, their knowledge. In the last, the poet beautifully shows the crux, the center line of the poem. He says that only those people find a place in history whose language had the warmth and power of the sun. My dear children, this line is very important and very deep. It is not only attaining knowledge that is important, but what is important is putting the knowledge into the correct sphere. So all those people who have that courage to do something extra, all those people who have that power, that self-respect, that self-wisdom, that they can put some extra efforts, bring out something different from their knowledge, they are the ones who create history. So it is not essential where you come from. It is not essential what is your background, what is your family status. What is essential is what amount of knowledge you have, how much amount of education you have, how beautifully you can show your education out to the world. When you sit on a post, nobody talks about anything else apart your knowledge. So keep your focus only and only on attaining good education. This is the center line of the poem. Let's talk about the poetic devices. The poem has varied amount of poetic devices. At large, the poet has used comparisons using simile and metaphor. Simile, like rootless weeds, like wattle bits on stone, like catacomb, slums as big as doom. Metaphor, rat's eye, gnarl disease, paper seeming boy, tree room, squirrel's game, cramped holes, skins peeped through by bones, tongue run naked into the books, white and green leaves. Beautiful comparisons indeed. Apart from comparison, the poet has also used alliteration. Far, far from gusty waves, surely Shakespeare, bottle bits, and also beautiful use of imagery and symbolism. Gusty waves is the symbolism used for the luxurious life of city. Rootless weeds symbolizes the unwanted part of society. Paper seeming boy symbolizes deprivation. Sour cream walls symbolizes the poor condition of the classroom. It is also a kind of a visual imagery. Shakespeare's head symbolizes wisdom and intelligence. Open-handed maps. It is the imagery shown to you, the open-handed maps made on the wall. Ships and sun is the reference to luxuries and richness. Bottle bits on stone is the shattered life, the life that these slum children live. My dear students, this is a short little explanation of the poem. Go through the poem nicely, read these poetical devices, underline all the poetical devices, and you will surely understand the poem. Thank you.